We are 75 years in, but our story is really just beginning. It's a story of purpose, pride, and passion, of leadership, hard work, and integrity. It's a celebration of victories won together and battles lost that moved us forward. It's the assurance of better, brighter futures for the generations of IMTA members and leaders yet to come. John Ruan said it well. As truckers, we have an intrinsic desire to find solutions to problems. That is what we do every single day. The true birth of today's Iowa trucking industry can be traced to that moment in 1942, when 12 confident and strong-willed leaders united to form the organization that would drive our success for many years to come. From that moment forward, Iowa's trucking industry has had a solid and important presence at the Iowa Capitol and throughout our state and nation. The goals were simple: strengthen relationships with public officials, support and advocate for pro-trucking legislation, and promote the positive image of our industry among the businesses and people we serve. When our boys came home from World War II, we led the effort to hire veterans. And as more trucks hit the road in the 1950s, our membership flourished and our commitment to safety was further strengthened when we formed the Iowa Council of Safety Supervisors. By the 1960s, we leveraged our strong voice at the Capitol to work for better roads and bridges, and we supported the investment in a national interstate system. And as our 25th anniversary drew near, we had much to celebrate. The trucking industry was growing in Iowa, and our young association was flourishing and growing too. Still, change was on the horizon. As we rolled into the 70s, there were challenges both on the state and national levels. In Iowa, Governor Ray led a very public campaign against allowing bigger and longer trucks in our highways. Nationally, the move to deregulation took root, culminating in the Motor Carrier Act of 1980, which forever changed our industry. In 1987, Vern Simpson saw his lifelong dream become reality when the Iowa Motor Carriers Foundation was formed, and its impact is still felt today. IMTA services were expanded to include safety consulting, and regulatory compliance oversight became a necessity. Programs targeted at high school students were introduced, and as our base of committed members kept growing, we remained true to our mission of getting the job done. During the 1980s, a young and energetic governor became a great friend to our industry. And in 1988, when the Iowa Commercial Highway Network was officially dedicated, Terry Branstad thanked the trucking industry for our many contributions to every Iowan, saying, "Iowa's trucking industry is what moves this state and moves this nation. We all depend on the trucking industry, and we are fortunate to have some of America's best trucking companies right here in Iowa." IMTA invested in statewide radio campaigns and worked closely with driver education teachers to help motorists of all ages learn about sharing the road with trucks. The regulatory environment continued to change rapidly, and IMTA became a leader in helping companies of all sizes stay on top of it. Our 50th anniversary was in 1992, when the association and the industry enjoyed a jubilant celebration of our rich history, anchored by the unwavering commitment of a strong membership. Chairman of the board Bill Smith said, "This is an evening that will stay in our memories for a long time and serve as a poignant reminder that the strength of this industry lies in our ability to not only work together, but also celebrate together for the common bond that all of us possess, our love of the trucking industry." Both our industry and our association continued to grow. In 1993, realizing that strong and effective volunteer leadership has always been a strength of our organization, we launched our first leadership program with a class of 18. In the years since, more than 200 IMTA members have participated in Lead IMTA, creating the strong base of leaders who have continued to move us forward. In 1994, we set our sights on a coveted piece of land at the foot of the state capitol, and 2 years later, we moved into our new state-of-the-art headquarters. In the words of IMTA Chairman Gary Michelson, this building exemplifies the same message our industry sends out every day. We are here to stay. We are strong. We are powerful. We are important. And we take pride in what we do every day for every Iowan. Through the 90s and the early 2000s, the technology revolution was exploding, and the landscape changed once again. An emerging phenomenon called the Internet created new opportunities in marketing, recruiting, logistics, and communications, while also changing how we all did business. But regulators saw technology as a catalyst for, well, more regulations, and the association continued its efforts to help members navigate the growing maze of regulations, while also fighting for the modernization of outdated and out-of-touch regulations. In 1999, we launched our first IMTA website and brought our communications program into the 21st century. By 2000, technology continued to produce dramatic changes. Infrastructure funding became a political priority. By 2007, fuel prices had skyrocketed, and trucking operations of all sizes were feeling the effects of an increasingly alarming recession. By late 2008, more than 70% of IMTA member carriers feared their companies would be in jeopardy if the recession continued for a year or more. When the dust settled after the Great Recession, more than 2,000 carriers across America had gone out of business. But for many others, resilience and perseverance prevailed. In 2010, we celebrated a major win when anti-indemnification legislation was passed. In 2011, our good friend Terry Branstad returned to the governor's office, as did a more pro-trucking and pro-business environment. In 2015, after many years of work, a 10 cents per gallon fuel tax increase went into effect, generating an additional $215 million per year for Iowa roads and bridges. In 2016, for the very first time, the association endorsed an Iowa candidate for national office, and many IMTA members were present when Joni Ernst became Iowa's first female U.S. Senator and the first female veteran in the history of the U.S. Senate. We are 75 years in, but our story is really just beginning. It's a story of purpose, pride, and passion, and the confidence that what we do helps create better futures for Iowans from every walk of life. Because we are Iowa's trucking industry, and together, we get the job done. Always have and always will. Happy anniversary from your Iowa Motor Truck Association.